Hello and welcome to Garden of Luma, where I provide you with tips for growing edibles in hot climates. Hello, Joe here with Garden of Luma. In today's video, at a request of a viewer, I am going to give you guys an update on my Annona trees. So Atemoya, sugar apple, Soursop are the ones that I'm growing in the Annona family. So I'll show you guys how they're doing, how they made it through our intense scorching hot summer. It's September now, so we're starting to get closer to cooling down here in the Phoenix, Arizona area. And so I'll show you those. But first off, I want to thank one of my viewers for gifting me a wax apple tree. That was really amazing, really awesome. I'm really grateful for that. Wanted to show you guys that real quick as well. So let's go take a look at that, and then we'll talk a little bit more about Annonas. If you guys are new to this channel, please subscribe to stay updated on the latest videos. All right, let's go take a look. Okay, so here is the wax apple tree here. And I put this in a lot of shade here, as you can see. Wanted to protect this guy here. This is really sensitive to our heat and climate here, so it's definitely going to be a challenge to keep this alive here, but I'm gonna do my best to do it. And I really wanna thank my viewer for sending me this. That was just amazing. And I am going to actually be doing some giveaways coming up, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, here's the wax apple. I believe it's a black pearl variety. And I will do a video as this progresses and give you a little bit more insight on how I'm caring for this in the Phoenix, Arizona area. Okay, so moving along to my Annonas here. Here's my Soursop tree. And this thing is quite large. One of the main issues I've had with this summer is winds. So the winds with these container trees, as they dry out, because they dry out pretty quickly here in our hot, dry weather, I water these daily in the summer, but still the winds tend to come at night when the pots have sat through the heat and had time to dry out a bit. And the winds tend to blow these over because they can get kind of top heavy. So that's been my main struggle with this tree, just keeping it upright. You can see it's staked here. And there have been probably 5 or 6 days where I found this laying on the ground and it snapped a few limbs and things like that. It kind of leans now if I don't stake it. So that's been my main issue. But you can see, I mean, this tree is really, really green, really healthy. I keep it under a lot of shade, as you can see here, but it does get early morning sun. And this is grown from seed like all my Annonas. And it's grown really steady. I mean, it's only, I want to say, going into its 3rd year maybe. Has not flowered or anything yet, but definitely can do really well here. The main problem here is the winters. Okay, moving on to my sugar apple tree. Again, this is doing really well. I have seen a little bit of burn on this from the sun and sun scorch. This one gets a little bit more sun here than my Soursop. It's probably in sun until maybe 1 or 2. So it gets a decent amount of sun. And this one, if you've watched some of my previous videos, did have some fruit set on it this year. I had 5 sugar apples. They made it for a little while, but slowly, one by one, they dropped off. They turned black and just dropped off the tree. A couple got to about the size of ping pong balls, and I was really excited about it. I thought this would maybe hold some fruit, but they all ended up dropping off. So that makes me wonder again if you can successfully get these to fruit here in the Phoenix, Arizona area, or if this dry heat is just too much for these trees. So that was the main reason why I grew a lot of these from seed versus trying to buy really expensive grafted trees, because I didn't want to pay a bunch of money if I was never going to get fruit. So I don't know, I'm going to keep at it. It definitely flowered a ton this year. And like I said, I mean, I probably could have got more fruit set if I would have been out here a little bit more doing the hand pollination, but I was able to get 5 and they all dropped off, unfortunately. So I don't know if it's maybe the age of the tree or if they just weren't pollinated enough or whatever it may be, but I'll keep at it. Back here is my Atemoya seedling, and you can see that branch up there has gotten really, that's probably 12 feet tall right there. And the winds, you can see it's kind of just spread this all out all over the place. But let me get up closer here. Yeah, it's definitely leaning. I probably should stake it. But the trunk on this tree is pretty good size here for 2-3 years from seed. So again, I mean, this one, these leaves are huge. So I want to think it's probably taking on more of the Atemoya traits, because Atemoya tend to have these bigger leaves. But these leaves are just massive on this. This one did not flower at all. And this one has kind of, I've noticed some more burn on it than some of my others. And it gets a decent amount of sun as well. So here's my Atemoya seedling in the ground. Again, all these Annonas, if you give them the right microclimate, if they're not out just full sun all day long, but you give them some afternoon shade, they will grow really well here. And they're pretty vigorous growers, at least the ones from seed. Not so sure about grafted trees, but the ones from seed are really vigorous. Okay, and lastly, here is my Atemoya that is in a 30-gallon container here. If you guys watched one of my recent videos about watering and how my watering system had issues one day and wasn't working, and I discovered it a day later, after that, I noticed a lot of this burn here on some of the leaves. So it kind of suffered when it was lacking water and the really extreme heat. But overall, I mean, again, this is done pretty well for the most part. You can see some burn, some scorch. Maybe gets a little bit more sun than it should. But overall, still doing really well in a container. This one actually did flower, but I didn't get any fruit set. There weren't nearly as many flowers on this as the sugar apple. It was more a handful of flowers. My sugar apple was just loaded with flowers, whereas this one was just maybe five or so. These, the leaves are much smaller than the one that's in the ground. So I'm thinking this one's taking on maybe more of the sugar apple traits. But both seeds from the same fruit, the same parent tree, but definitely look like they're taking on different traits. Since Atemoya is a hybrid, you know, it's hard to really say what the seeds are gonna produce. If you want a true Atemoya, you're gonna need a grafted tree. So since it's a hybrid of a sugar apple as well as a Atemoya, you know, it may lean more towards one or the other of the parents. All right, there you go. Check me out at gardenofluma.com for more tips on gardening and growing fruit trees, especially in hot, dry climates. Thanks for watching.